Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining the Saturday evening. So, as I mentioned a few days ago, even though today is meant to be our regular Bhagavatam class discussion, this week is a very special week. It is the divine appearance anniversary of our dear Lord and Savior, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, we want to take the opportunity to discuss a little bit about his glories for our purification. Of course, his glories are vast and unlimited. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, also says that glories of the Lord are like the infinite sky. And I'm like a very small bird. I can only fly as much as I can, the sky. So each bird can fly into the sky based on their own capacity. No one can span the whole sky, no matter how powerful the bird may be. It's just a tiny speck in the sky, and no matter how much high it goes, it's insignificant as compared to the expanse of the sky, which is practically unlimited. So today we'll do that small attempt for the pleasure of all the devotees for our purification. So I'll start by reciting the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttamashloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha. Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Jnanatmirantasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam sadvaitam savadhutam parijana sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Karanamami Haripriye पंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामी कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती गौरवाणी पाश्चात्य देशताः। त्वं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्तवृंद। जय हरि बोल। So I hope you all had a nice celebration for Gaur Purnima. I think some of the temples have opened visiting in the temple and celebrations in the temple. So maybe some of you may have visited. And I think quite a few of us have also observed the fast. It was a special fasting until moonrise, very purifying. So yeah, we also celebrated our festival nicely by hearing a lot of classes, probably these 4 or 5 hours. I was able to hear different classes, also spend time doing Abhishek for the deities and worshipping them morning and then evening Gaur Aarti, offerings, prasad. So it's a wonderful opportunity to keep ourselves absorbed in Krishna consciousness. And for us, Gaur Purnima is actually very, very special. In one sense, one may say that Krishna Janmashtami is the most special festival because Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. But at the same time, Krishna himself, in the form of Lord Chaitanya, is the most accessible form of Krishna. It's a very, very special form of Krishna. And we are so fortunate, we cannot even calculate our good fortune. We are born in the age where Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears once in a day of Brahma. How many times? Once in a day of Brahma. So every day of Brahma has 1000 Chatur Yugas. Each Chatur Yuga is Satya, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. There are 14 Manvantaras. In the 7th Manvantara, in the 28th Chatur Yuga, in the Dwapar Yuga, Krishna appears. This is the Vaivasvata Manvantara going on. And in all other Dwapar Yugas, there is an incarnation of Krishna appears, but Krishna doesn't appear personally. I'm talking about Brajendra Nandan Krishna. Krishna, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord of Vraja. He appears only once in a day of Brahma in his original pure form. That's why even amongst the Vedas, you will find only sparse references to Krishna. Because Krishna doesn't reveal his original form and his original glories so easily, even in the Vedic scriptures. Because it's a very confidential form. Correct? Just like a very great personality, his public biography may be known to many. He did this, he was prime minister, he was chief minister, he did this, he studied that. That may be available by so many biographers. But his private life, who he is when he is without any fanfare, without any scrutinizing eyes, who he is, how he likes to be, what is it that he likes, whom does he like to be with, what does he like to hear, what does he like to eat, whom does he like to be with, what games does he like to play, how does he like to spend his time. So this information only those who are very close to that individual may know. These things are not known even when it is in a public interview. Public interview also, people will not reveal everything. So to really, really know a person very deeply, you have to connect with them, connect with those who are very closely connected with them. Then you will actually get some insight into them. So Krishna Vraja is God at home. And Narayan, Vishnu are God in office. Correct? So it's like all of us, right? We are one thing at home. Now all of you are at home. You are in your t-shirt or kurta with your families, relaxed environment. When you are at work, you are a different personality. So the most of the living entities know God at work because they think of God as the boss. Who's the boss? Oh, Vishnu is the boss. Narayan is the boss. But the goal of the Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition is not about worshipping God at work. I mean, that is okay. We respect Him and we worship Him, but that's not our highest goal. The highest goal of those who worship God as the Supreme Lord is Vaikuntha, where they get to associate with Him also as God only, as the Lord, as the boss, from a distance, with obeisances, with worship, with beautiful chants of prayers. Of course, beyond birth, old age, disease, and death, but it is still. But Krishna at home, if you go and see a person, the same person who was so opulent and who showed and exuded so much power at home, his children are jumping all over him, his wife is scolding him, his mother is saying, "You don't understand this." They treat him, not like the boss, but as if, God alone knows how he became what he has become. Correct? All of us have this experience, right? Many of us are in our 40s, 50s, but still our parents, our spouse, our close ones will still treat us as if we are a small child. And God enjoys this because it is all out of affection. It is obviously not out of any desire to criticize. It is extreme affection. But that kind of level of reciprocation with the Lord is not possible for common living entities, even not for all those who have pure devotion. Because entry into the home of God is beyond just pure devotion. It is not even ordinary pure devotion. It is a very, very specific kind of prema. It is not the Vaidhi prema. It is the Ragatmika prema, the prema which is intense attachment, such intense attachment to the Lord that the devotee even forgets that Krishna is God. For him, Krishna becomes his friend, his child, his lover, like that. Very intimate relationship. So in the scriptures, the Lord explains that He prefers this kind of worship to even the formal official worship as explained in the Vedas. He says the scolding that the gopis give to me, even though it is sometimes full of nasty, chastising words, sounds sweeter to my ears than the hymns of the Vedas. The hymns of the Vedas don't attract me. But when Mother Yashoda is shouting at me, when the gopis are calling me out of love or even chastising me out of love, that is very attractive. So God likes unfettered, uninhibited, pure love, pure affection. Some people are tempted to think that, oh, that means I just have to be very unfettered in my love to Krishna. No, 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 no. That is not the platform. This platform is attained when one goes beyond the platform of rules and regulations through attaining pure devotion. This is not about being loose in our relationship with God and treating Him casually. That will lead to disaster. So please don't try that. This is not the understanding. We should still continue worshipping Him with awe and reverence, but we know what the goal is. We want to enter that realm. But that realm is so high, so high, so high. It is practically inaccessible. Almost all the time. Within a day of Brahma, hardly a few individuals whom we can count on the tip of our fingers may attain that abode. Somehow by finding out about that realm and the means to achieve it. Because actually, ultimately, the only means to achieve that love is either Krishna, Rajendra Krishna, Krishna as the son of Nanda Maharaj, gives that love, or one of the very intimate associates of the Lord gives that love to us. So if they are not going to incarnate in this world, what is the chance? So it is going to be a very, very challenging task to attain that in any other yuga. This yuga being somehow the 7th Manvantara, 20th Chatur Yuga, this Dwapar Yuga, Krishna appeared personally. And at the end of this Chatur Yuga, the Kali Yuga which follows the Dwapar Yuga, Krishna again comes. Even though he comes only once in a day of a very short time, within how many years? Since Krishna's disappearance and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance? Roughly around, yes, Santaram Prabhu is calculating in his mind, I can see.
4,500 years, Prabhuji.
Yes. Shyamala Mataji also said, Amit said, yes, Santaram Prabhu was about to say 4,500, roughly. And what is 4,500 years? Which is nothing from the point of view of the Devatas. And from the point of the view of cycle of time, it is almost like, Krishna goes and within a, one scene change and next scene, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, we have been referring to him many, many times. So we want to understand who is this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and what is his purpose. Of course, we have heard he is Krishna. People think he's an incarnation of Krishna, but the Shastras say no. He is not an incarnation of Krishna. Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu an incarnation of Krishna? How many of you say he's an incarnation of Krishna?
Oh, Prabhu, he is Krishna himself.
Very good. Haribo. So Sundar Prabhu has saved all of us from wrong answers. Prabhu has clarified that he is not an incarnation of Krishna. He is Swayam Krishna. Because incarnations are Amsha or Kala. Krishna is full, right? Ete chamsha kalap pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. That all these incarnations are either parts of Krishna or parts of the parts of Krishna. But Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. He is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is 100% God. Full potencies. There is nothing beyond him. Matta paradaram na anyat kinchid asti dhananjaya sarvam idam maya parutam sutre manigana. Eva, there is no truth superior to me, Krishna says in the Gita. Bhagavatam says all other incarnations are partial manifestations of divinity. So who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu one of the incarnations? The Shastras say no. He is Krishna himself. You say, oh, Krishna himself? First of all, Krishna comes so rarely. Once in a day of Brahma. Why? He just exited at the end of Dwapar Yuga. And within a few thousand years, he entered from the other door, back in. Hey, what is this? What is going on? Huh? And that too, he's not even dark in complexion. He's fair. He's dressed as sannyasi. He's not even telling anybody he's Krishna. What is this game going on? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also a very mysterious personality. And it is very important for all of us to understand this tattva of Lord Chaitanya. Because actually it is Lord Chaitanya who is our savior. He is the one who has come to this world to give us the highest. The highest being given to the most unqualified is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Otherwise, there is no hope. So let us discuss and understand about this tattva and why Krishna is taking this very unique form. Of course, there is so much to discuss, so we cannot discuss a lot. But what I want to focus on in today's class is that there are three, the Chaitanya Charitamrita in chapters 2, 3, 4 establishes the tattva of Lord Chaitanya. And in establishing that tattva of who is Lord Chaitanya and establishing that he is not avatar, he is the avatari, he is Krishna himself. There is no difference between Krishna, Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya. Shri Krishna, Shri Gaura, Shri Jagannath. The same Krishna in Vrindavan is in Puri as Jagannath, and that same Lord is manifested in Navadvip as Lord Chaitanya. Same, no difference. He's just different disguises, but the same person. So why the disguise? What is the disguise? What is his intention? So let us try to understand that. So the Shastras say there are three external, the Chaitanya Charitamrita mentions this, three external and three internal reasons for the Lord's appearance. This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so I'm going to explain from there. Chaitanya Charitamrita goes into great extent and great detail to explain this, but I'm going to explain in brief. You can read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And like I said, after we complete the discussion of the Gita, we'll get into Chaitanya Charitamrita. Perhaps that time we can discuss in more detail, because it's very, very sweet. Lot of Shastra is also quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami wrote the Chaitanya Charitamrita on the bank of Radha Kund. I think Amit and Priya recently visited there. Amit, you managed to see the Bhajan Kutir of Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami at Radha Kund?
Yes, Prabhuji. We went there. We were able to see that.
Yes, yes. Just very close is Raghunath Das Goswami's Samadhi also. Right?
Yes, Prabhuji. We saw that as well.
Yeah. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was staying very close to Radha Kund, and there, with the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, he writes Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very special. Radha Kund is the most confidential place in Vrindavan Dham. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami was especially blessed to write this wonderful literature. So three external and three internal reasons, and that will reveal, when we discuss this, we'll understand why the Lord has appeared and why he has taken this form. So please listen to this very carefully, because it is very important for us as followers of Lord Chaitanya. We are not just followers of Krishna. We are of course followers of Krishna also, but we are followers of Krishna, Jagannath and Lord Chaitanya. All three we accept and worship, and all three of them have a very, very special place, even though they are all three the same person. And we'll understand why. So first we will discuss the three external reasons for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. So it is said that in every yuga, the Lord takes an incarnation to establish the yuga dharma. Yuga dharma. So in Kali Yuga, the yuga dharma is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So that is one reason the Lord takes incarnation in Kali Yuga to establish the yuga dharma. And the yuga dharma is established through the process of Nama Sankirtana, chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So that was one purpose that the Lord appeared. Of course, this purpose of yuga dharma is established in every Kali Yuga. It is not that it was very special for this Kali Yuga, but in this Kali Yuga, Krishna said that I am not just going to establish yuga dharma, the usual yuga dharma which leads to mukti and maybe Vaikuntha, but I am going to give something very special. Actually, I just few thousand years ago, I came and displayed my most intimate pastimes of Vraja and revealed them to the whole world. But I don't see that anybody is actually able to understand them, appreciate them. And even though I had intended to open the door of Goloka. Nobody is coming in. I'm not getting any new recruits. And Krishna was thinking, yes, it is so difficult actually. Even though I demonstrated my pastimes, especially the pastimes of Vraja, especially in the higher rasas of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya and Madhurya, the world is not able to understand. And they don't know how to practice that devotion that will lead to that particular point, so that they can actually achieve Goloka Vrindavan, these rasas. Even though I gave instructions in Bhagavad Gita, I said, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vrajaham Toam Sarva Papebhya Mokshayashyami Mashucha. Even though I said, Man Mana Bhavat Bhakto Madhyahi Mam Namaskuru, people are not able to understand. Kali Yuga intelligence is very low. Manda Sumanda Matayoho Manda Bhagya Upadritaha. So I must do something. I want to come down to this planet and distribute this Krishna Prem myself. I showed what is Krishna Prema by displaying my pastime, but now I have to come to give it. And actually, I cannot send any incarnation, because this, what I'm giving, this product that I'm giving, Krishna Prema Braja, can only be given by me, because this belongs only to Krishna's form. This doesn't come. Narsinga cannot give this, Vishnu cannot give this, Narayan cannot give this, even Lord Ramchandra cannot give Krishna Prema of Vraja. Only Krishna can give, because he is Purna Purushottam, because he is the highest of the high. So I must come myself, and I must come and distribute this Krishna Prema. And because the Yuga Dharma timing is coinciding now, I will also come as the Yuga Avatar, but I will also give Krishna Prema. So what I'll do, I'm going to take the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. I'm going to soak that Maha Mantra in the solution of Krishna Prema. That absorbs, full of Prema. Like, when you have a rasgulla, you make a rasgulla, then you soak it in a sugar solution, and it becomes fully absorbs it. Soak the whole. It's like, think of a beads. Each of the beads is a rasgulla. Soak in Krishna Prem solution. And Caitanya Mahaprabhu says this elsewhere. I don't remember the quote. I don't have that particular quote by heart, but this, I'm not making this up. I usually don't make up things. I just quote scripture and authorities. So it says that he has soaked it in Krishna Prema, and he is giving that Nama to us. So that this Nama, when we chant, we will not just get liberation. Normally, Nam will take us even up to liberation. But this Nama, and not even Vaikuntha, this Nama will give us Prema. The Prema Braja. Because Krishna has invested all his potencies. Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrar Pita Niyamitak Smarane Nakala Eta Drishitava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrusham Iha Janinano Raga. Krishna, you have invested all your potencies in your holy name. I'm so unfortunate, I have no taste for them. So Krishna is saying, don't worry. You are not behind the product. I have such an excellent product. I did so much marketing for the product of Prema by performing my Braj pastimes. So people are seeing it from a distance, saying good, but nobody is actually buying product. And they don't even know how to get the product. So what does in such a case, what does the company do? The company asks the salesman to go door to door. Knock, knock, knock. Please take excellent product. Take. Try for free. So Krishna has taken the name, soaked it in Prema. He comes himself and he goes directly and through his various preachers, Nityananda, Haridas, Advaita, and so many others and their followers, all the way up to us. We are very insignificant, but we are all doing the same job. Whatever we are getting from up, the soaked name, doesn't belong to us. It's just come down to us. We are trying to relish it as we chant. Imagine if each of your bead was a rasagola soaked, and if you are doing japa, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sugar juice will just sprinkle all over us, isn't it? And actually, if we chant with the right mood, the right absorption, that is what will happen. That is how it is designed. You're saying, Prabhu, my product is not working. It's not working because you're not following manual. Problem is not with the product. Because Krishna has not just given the holy name, he has given a process of how to chant the holy names. What is that? Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. And what is the other formula? One is no offenses, being humble, and the other aspect is that one should do without any material motivations. Of course, that is part of the offenses also in one sense, if you see. But ahaituki apratihata, that is also very important. Without material motivation and without interruption, being always, not as a side business. When I get time, I do a little bit of devotion. No, devotion is our main business. All other things are side business. So when we do like that, when we follow the formula properly, we can actually experience the juice getting squeezed. Right now, our fingers are getting squeezed and we get tired, chanting, pulling these, then it will finish. But when we do it properly, and that is why Lord Chaitanya comes personally, because Lord Chaitanya wants to demo how to achieve Krishna Prema. He has given product and he is also becoming the product demonstrator. I will show you how to chant the holy name, how to live in such a way that you can attain pure love of God in this life, how to live a perfect life in this world now and then attain Uloka Vrindavan. So Krishna decided that I am not going to send any representative. This is my job. Krishna says, my job. Krishna Prem, nobody else, no outsourcing. It has to be given directly by me. Because this is my ghar ka mamla, this is my house affair. This is not, my public distribution network. This is my... If you are going to invite somebody into your home, because Krishna is God at home, you will screen the people yourself. Will you give it to somebody else to screen? You let anybody in, I will open the door. No. Don't do like that. We will screen every person as Krishna says, I will go, I will demo, I will give product, I will do. Because ultimately, I only have to give them prema. Nobody else is capable of giving prema. So thinking like this, Krishna made up his mind that I will come again in Kali Yuga because people have not understood how to follow my instructions. And around 500 years ago, as Krishna was already thinking like this, after he left at the end of Kali Yuga, and Kali Yuga started many thousands of years. Nobody is taking to Krishna Prem, nobody is coming, nobody is getting purified, and Krishna is becoming impatient. After one day of Brahma, I came, nobody is still taking to this seriously, even though I perform my pastimes. I came with Radharani, I came with all the Sakhis and the Gopas and Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda. What is this? I cannot let this flop. I must deliver. And it's not that Krishna wanted for himself, but Krishna is saying, I want what this nectar of Krishna Prema, and we will come to the internal reason shortly. I want the living entities to taste this, and I will give this. So he decided to appear, and he decided to appear not as Krishna, even though he is Krishna, but he decided to appear in disguise as his own devotee. so that as a devotee he can demo the product. Because Krishna is the object of worship, right? But here he has to teach how to worship Krishna. So he cannot become Krishna and show how to worship Krishna. So he has to become devotee of Krishna to show how to worship Krishna. Krishna Varanam Tusha Akrishnam Sangopangasta Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtanai Prayai Yajanti Hi Sumedha Saha. The Bhagavatam already predicts Krishna will appear as Lord Chaitanya. It says, who is this incarnation of Krishna in Kali Yuga? Krishna Varanam is always talking about Krishna. Visha Akrishnam, but his complexion is not like Krishna. His complexion is golden. Visha Akrishna. Sangho Pangasta Parshadam. He will come down with all his associates and do what? Yajnai Sankirtanai Prayai. Do the process of the propagation of Sankirtan. He will propagate it. And intelligent people in Kali Yuga who recognize him will also worship him through the process of Sankirtana. Sankirtanai Yajnai Prayai Yajanti Hi Sumedha Saha. It is said those who are intelligent, they worship him. So all of you are intelligent by Bhagavatam's definition. Because you are all worshipping him using Sankirtan. Okay, so that is Bhagavatam certificate. Bhagavatam is saying those who are intelligent, they worship him. Yajnai Sankirtanai Prayehi Yajanti Hi Sumedhasaha. So at the same time, around 500 years ago, the Kali Yuga situation was such, it was so bad. A great Brahman, elderly Brahman in the land of Mayapur, in Navadvip Dham, by the name of Advaita Acharya, he and so many of the other Vaishnava associates, they were feeling so sad that in Kali Yuga, people have become so materialistic. So materialistic. Now I can speak about this topic itself of the situation there for a long time, but I will try to shorten it. Essentially, they were so materialistic that they were using religion simply as a means of acquiring sense enjoyment. And especially at that time, even though Navadvip was the seat of learning, the focus of all so-called religion and spirituality was simply to get money, name, fame, Kanchana Pratishta Kamini. Kanchan is wealth, Pratishta means name and fame, and Kamini means beautiful women or men, whatever the case. It was just at that platform. And generally people were just worshipping devatas and upadevatas and all kinds of demigods just for material benediction. And they were so sad that Krishna has given so much, and this is what, people are not taking shelter of Gita, Bhagavatam, following the instructions of Gita and Bhagavatam, and they have come to this level and feeling so sad for the condition of people of Kali Yuga. Advaita Acharya was deeply praying to Krishna that Krishna, you yourself have to come to save this situation. Situation is too bad. Nobody can believe that only 4,500 years ago you had appeared. This is such a bad situation, and the people of Kali Yuga are so hopeless, even in the current situation. So we are so worried. So he was appealing to Krishna to personally come down. Don't send incarnation. You personally come down. Now the interesting thing is Advaita Acharya is not just an ordinary Brahman. Advaita Acharya himself is an incarnation of the Lord. He is Mahavishnu himself and Sadashiv himself. So Mahavishnu is feeling, Mahavishnu who breathes out universe, is feeling, I can't save these people. Of course, he can save in one sense, but he's saying, I cannot give them Krishna Prem because Krishna Prem only Krishna can give. So he's praying to Krishna, see, I can do all other management affairs for the Srishti. Giving Krishna Prema is your prerogative. It's not within my job scope. Mahavishnu is not within Mahavishnu's job scope. So please, you have to come down personally. And it is said that Advaita Acharya was thinking that the Lord is so affectionate to his devotees, the Shastra say, and he quotes a particular verse, I do not remember from which scripture, which says, it's mentioned in the Caitanya Charitamrita, it says that the Lord is so affectionate to the devotees that even if he simply worshipped with devotion, just with tulsi and Ganges water, the Lord becomes purchased. The Lord becomes purchased. Can you imagine? Just tulsi, leaves, and water. That's all. No big worship, but with pure devotion. The Lord will become purchased. So what he did is, he took one Shaligram Shila and he started worshipping by offering tulsi and Ganges water. And he would call out to the Lord by singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He would call out to the Lord in a particular tune. It's a very sweet tune. I know the tune, but I don't want to sing it now. One day I will sing it. It's a very specific tune because I'm not such a good singer. You'll all get shocked. So when we would go to Pune Yatra with His Holiness Radhanand Maharaj, we would always sing this. Maharaj would lead us in singing this particular tune, which Advaita Acharya sang. It's in a particular rag. I don't remember the name of the rag. If anybody remembers, they can share. But I remember the tune. It's a very sweet tune. If I get a recording, I will try to share that later on the group. But he called out to the Lord with great devotion, pouring Ganges water and offering tulsi to the Shaligram. The Shaligram, by the way, is still there. Shaligram, which Advaita Acharya personally worshipped to call Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya, who's Krishna in Goloka, he couldn't resist when Mahavishnu was making such fervent prayers. Krishna was anyway thinking, oh, I have to come, I have to teach. And the time of the Yuga Dharma had also come. So all these episodes came together. And at that time, Krishna decided to come down to the earth and to be born in Navadvip to Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi to fulfill these three external reasons. So quickly to summarize, what are the three external reasons? One, to establish the Yuga Dharma, which was essentially the Harinam Sankirtan, which is the Yuga Dharma. Second is to give Krishna Prema to everybody, not just bestow, but also teach the means to it through his personal example. And third is to reciprocate with the prayers of Advaita Acharya, who was beseeching the Lord to appear, to deliver the people of Kali. So these are the three external reasons. Now I want to discuss for another 10 minutes the internal reasons for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya. So this is very, very interesting. The internal reasons are even more interesting. What does internal reason mean? First, what does external reason mean? External means for the world, to save all of us. So these three reasons is for us. Hame bachana hai. We are all fallen. So if the Lord had not done all this, then we would be in trouble. But there are three reasons which are directly related to the Lord's own purpose or his own reason for which he also appears as Lord Chaitanya. It is not only for us. He has something to achieve, so to say, achieve for himself also. This is something very interesting. So if you think, what has God to achieve? Is there anything that God has to achieve? That Krishna, who's Purna Purushottam Bhagwan, has to become Lord Chaitanya. Now, this is the mystery of the Vedas. This is the secret. So let us understand what is it that God has to achieve. It's like if somebody says, oh, Mukesh Ambani, so rich. It's something he cannot buy. He's really wondering how to buy it. Everybody will be curious. What is it that he can't buy? How can he not buy? If he cannot buy, who can buy? And who can make such a product that he cannot buy? You understand? Correct? So everybody will be scratching their head. What is this? And what is that price? So that is something that Krishna is trying to achieve. So all of us must be very curious. What is it? Because Krishna has said there is nothing for me to achieve in all the three worlds. He is fully Atmaram. So what is it that he wants to do? Now this is a very mysterious thing, and this is very important to understand for those who are followers of Lord Chaitanya. Because this is a very deep mystery. So the answer to this comes as the three internal reasons for Krishna's appearance as Lord Chaitanya. Three internal reasons. So let us quickly discuss them. We roughly have around 12-13 minutes. So reason number one. Krishna in Goloka is enjoying with gopis and Radharani. And Krishna is always amazed by the love of Srimati Radharani. Just amazed. He is amazed, first of all, that she is experiencing love and devotion. The experience of devotion that she is having for me is something so unique. Krishna is thinking, I am always the subject of the love and Radharani is the object. Radharani is experiencing me. I am the subject. She is describing me. She is experiencing me. She is worshipping me. Everything. I am the subject of all this. But because I am the recipient, I am not able to actually understand the glory of her love for me. I cannot actually understand what is that love. What is the nature of that love? Because I am Bhagwan and she is playing the role of a bhakta and her bhakti is the topmost, I am unable to understand fully the nature of her bhakti. So the only way I can experience the nature of a bhakti is if I take her position. So instead of being Bhagwan, I take the position of Bhakta, and amongst the Bhaktas, the topmost is Radharani. I will become the object so that I can describe the subject and I can experience me from her angle. Very interesting. So to relish the love that Radharani feels for Krishna. And in that love, he can see that Radharani is attracted so much to him. So Krishna is sometimes wondering, I mean, I know I'm great. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm the reservoir of all opulence. But how attractive am I? How attractive am I? I cannot fathom. But I can see that Radharani is experiencing my sweetness. I am sweet, but I cannot experience my sweetness because I am me. Correct? Because I am Krishna and I am the reservoir of sweetness, but because I am me, I cannot experience myself. Radharani is able to experience me, my sweetness, my beauty, my glory. So to understand the glory of me and my sweetness, I also have to take her position so that I can experience my sweetness and what is so attractive about me from her vantage point. And I mentioned this story once, and this happened sometime, and this triggered this thought in Krishna. It is when Krishna, I think I mentioned this to you in Dwarka, once he was passing by a jeweled pillar. And suddenly, as he was passing by the jeweled pillar, Krishna just got distracted and he saw somebody extremely beautiful passing next to him. Krishna just quickly looked, who is it? Who is so attractive that I can be attracted? Correct? Huh? I am the most beautiful person. Who is it so attractive? So Krishna saw, and then he realized it is his own reflection in the pillar. Krishna is scratching. He said, "Oh, really? I'm so attractive. Wow, that guy was great. He was. I mean, just I glanced at him. He's so attractive." See, Krishna cannot experience himself as attractive because he is Krishna. So see, what is this? No fun. I am the most handsome guy in all existence, but because I'm the one, I can't enjoy myself. But Radharani is the one who's enjoying me the most. She has the full experience of my beauty, of my sweetness. So I want to experience my beauty. What it is, what is the feeling or the experience of my attractiveness? I want to experience that bhakti. And last, third reason, I want to understand the experience of ecstasy that Radharani is having when she loves me like that. When her bhakti combines with my attractiveness, what is that experience of her ecstasy? What is the joy that Radharani is feeling? Because Krishna was continuously observing this since eternity. Krishna is observing this, that I am interacting with Radharani. Of course, I also enjoy associating with her and she enjoys associating with me. But Krishna continuously is observing that my joy in associating with her is not as much as her joy in serving me. Krishna saying, this is seems some gadbad. I am God. I must be experiencing the highest happiness. But my devotee, Radharani, of course, Radharani is not just another devotee. She is his personal energy. But she is experiencing greater joy in serving me than I am experiencing in being served. This seems to be a problem. Problem in the sense, Krishna is feeling I can't enjoy. She is experiencing more joy than me. I am most attractive, but I cannot experience my sweetness. Because I am me, I cannot become devotee and experience myself. Because I am me, I cannot experience the joy of bhakti like Radharani is experiencing. Not good. So Krishna is thinking, I must solve this problem because this is a fundamental problem of God being God. So Krishna came up with the solution that the only way I can solve not a problem, but this desire of Krishna of not just being the Lord, but also wanting to experience himself from the vantage point of the topmost devotee, in terms of the ecstasy, in terms of the sweetness, in terms of the mellows of that relationship which come from the heart of a bhakta. In the topmost level, he knows Radharani is the embodiment of all of that. So Krishna says, I must take a special form, not an incarnation. I must take a form where I take the mood of Radharani, where I don't become Krishna, even though I am Krishna. Krishna goes in the background, Radharani comes to the foreground. I'll take the mood of Radharani where Radharani comes to the foreground. And through her mood, I want to experience worshipping me and loving me. What all Krishna comes up with ideas, The far out idea, no? Correct? So then he decides that I will take the form, a special form in Kali Yuga, where I will cover myself with the mood of Radharani. So that is why Krishna takes the form of Lord Chaitanya, where he's Krishna, but he's no longer dark. Why is he no longer dark? Because he has covered himself, his own Krishna body with the body of Radharani and the mood of Radharani. So he becomes golden, because Radharani is golden in complexion. This is why Lord Chaitanya is known as Gauranga. It's no longer called Krishna. It's Gauranga. Radharani is Gaurangi, feminine. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Gauranga, golden complexioned one. So he is Krishna who has come by taking the heart of Radharani, the mood of Radharani. And when Krishna took the mood of Radharani, he went mad. It's very difficult to handle. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is about how Krishna went mad when he took the heart of Radharani. So the moral of the story is, first, of course, these are three external, three internal reasons. So three internal, let me just quickly summarize before we summarize and wrap up. So the three external reasons we discussed, the three internal reasons are: one, to understand and relish the love of Radharani, to understand what is it in him that Radharani finds so attractive, and to be able to taste his own sweetness. And third is to understand the happiness that Radharani feels when she loves him. And actually, when Krishna experiences all this, he realizes that actually being my devotee seems to be better than being me. Everybody is saying, I want to be God, I want to be God. But God is thinking, Radharani seems to be having a better deal of the equation. And he is wanting to trade his position with her because he is feeling that is a better position of experiencing greater happiness than being God. So God is saying it is better to serve God than be God. This is God's realization, not mine. So God also wants to be devotee. And to fulfill God's desire to be a devotee, he comes as Lord Chaitanya. Of course, because God is the greatest, when he becomes devotee, he is also the greatest. His position is never compromised. He is Krishna in the complexion of Radharani with the greatest love. And especially in the Anta Leela of Lord Chaitanya, how he exhibits his greatest ecstasies of love for Radharani and Krishna and Gopis is explained in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very, very, very high. We'll get some glimpse of it when it comes to Chaitanya Charitamrita discussion. We will get some glimpse of it. So Krishna came down to the world to fulfill his three desires also, not just to fulfill the three external desires. So the three external desires was to establish Yuga Dharma by giving the holy name, by distributing Krishna Prema to all, by fulfilling the prayers of Advaita Acharya. But at the same time, Krishna was also tasting the nectar of devotion to himself. So Krishna was tasting and giving, tasting and giving. And because Krishna was tasting and he was getting so mad when he was tasting it, he was just feeling like everyone should taste this. This is so good. Correct? Sometimes when we eat something very good, because if you are very envious, we'll not think like that. But generally, we will think, oh, wow, this was so good. Everyone taste. This is so nice, so nice, so nice. Isn't it? So wonderful. Isn't it good? Acha hai na, acha hai na. Sabko, you want to give everybody, it's nice, no? It's nice, no? Take more, take more. So Krishna is like that. As Caitanya Mahaprabhu, he's tasting that love and he's thinking, wow, being my devotee is so cool. This is so good. This is better than being Krishna. So good. Come, everyone come, take. I have soaked the holy name with this prema, come take. Just without offenses, chant the holy name. Aparada shunya hoye loe Krishna naam. Without aparad, if we chant the holy name, we can get Krishna prem. That is why we should chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, without offenses. then we can experience this taste. And this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give. He's come to invite us to his home of Goloka. And he has come to give us the process of chanting this holy name through which we can get entrance to that realm, which is very, very, very difficult to attain otherwise, unless the Lord comes himself and makes himself available so easily. There's a very nice description. Generally, Krishna, I'll end with this. Generally, Krishna is very careful whom he gives his devotion. And he says this in the scriptures. Because Krishna says, see, once I give my devotion to somebody, I become his servant. Because I am the servant of my devotee. So Krishna says, I am very careful, Baba, whom I will give my devotion to. I'm very careful. So generally to approach Krishna, even though he is very kind, still it is difficult. But when Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya, same Krishna is so intoxicated with love of bhakti, the love of Srimati Radharani. What happens when a person is very intoxicated? If you ever want to take out money from somebody, don't go to him when he's sober. When the person, especially a person is habituated to drinking, when they are drunk, you go, uncle, can get 100 ringgit, please. Take. He'll give his whole purse. He'll not even know how much he's giving and what he's giving. Because when a person is intoxicated, they become extremely generous. I don't know. I have not had this experience with anybody, but I've heard like that and I have observed in film and other media. I don't know whether this is true. But that is what they say. That people become very generous. So, can you give me your watch? Take this watch. Oh, you want my wallet? Take my wallet. So, person who is drunk, he, in that drunken state, he becomes very generous. So, Krishna, when he is Lord Chaitanya, he becomes very generous. Because he is intoxicated by Krishna Prema and he is in a mood to give it very easily to the most unqualified people. Because when he is in that intoxicated mood, he doesn't see who is qualified, who is not qualified. Patra, apatra, na dekhi. This is not my words. This is Caitanya Charitamrita. He just gives. If somebody humbly and sincerely comes and asks him, please give me, he will give. That's all. That is the greatness of Lord Chaitanya. And that is why, even though we want to worship Krishna, we want to approach Krishna through Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Because that is the easiest way for us in Kali Yuga to approach him. Through the holy name, through accessing his mercy, through the Guru Parampara coming from Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is the sure short way of achieving Krishna Prema. So if we regularly chant Hare Krishna and we don't perform offenses, we are honest, sincere, non-duplicitous, non-offensive, and we sincerely take shelter of the process of Krishna consciousness, we are guaranteed that the end of this life, Krishna, the form of Lord Chaitanya, will pull us, extract us, deliver us from material existence, and give us the highest of the highest. And those who want further insurance that they will be taken back, they have to assist the drunkard in the mission of the drunkards. Which means Caitanya Mahaprabhu came to give Krishna Prema. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Caitanya Charitamrita says, how many people can I give to alone? I need help. Come, come. I need volunteers. I need agents. I need distribution partners. Come. This is from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'm not making this up again. He literally says like this. I wonder how many fruits can I taste and how many fruits can I distribute? So much prema is there. The flood house of prema. I want to open the doors and distribute it to all. So please help me to distribute it. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is making that appeal, even though we are so unqualified, why not take that opportunity? The drunkard is saying he's accepting qualified or unqualified people in the job. Why not accept? Just do whatever we can distributing, and in that way we get special bonus. We will be the first to be delivered if we become part of that mission of his, distribute Harinam Sankirtan and the means of Krishna Prema to whoever we can, the age of Kali. Okay, so having said that, I will end the class here. So let us thank on this occasion, let us genuinely thank Krishna, who has come in the form of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he has been so kind to us, that he has taken the trouble to come down for all of us. And we know what he went through. Even when he came, it wasn't easy for him either. He had to take sannyas. He had to go through so many abuses, insults, so many things, even though he has come to save us. But he was so determined to help us and save us that he has been so kind that he has left behind this means for us. So we are eternally grateful to him as our loving father, that he is giving us this special rope to deliver us, not just beyond the cycle of birth and death, but entrance into his home. So let us not be foolish. Let us remain humble, sincere, truthful, honest devotees. We don't have to be anything great to please Lord Chaitanya. We just have to be honest, sincere, humble, and have a sincere service attitude. Then we can get the greatest fortune if we simply strive in this small lifetime of ours. We can achieve his complete mercy. Thank you very much. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha. May Lord Chaitanya bless us all, that we can fulfill our life's mission to achieve his lotus feet. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki. Any questions? Any comments? Okay, thank you. So if there is no questions, no comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Ah, yes.
Prabhuji.
Who?
Seen you have, I have seen sometime. I have traveled few times with you, Prabhuji, and I felt you have like you intoxicated after and other things. So, the way you drive the vehicle, the way you speak. I myself and Veena, we experienced that. We felt that Prabhuji is like intoxicated. After after attending temple event, and when we are returning from the temple, the way you drive the vehicle or the way you speak, and we really felt that. So
Hare Krishna.
the amount of happiness you used to have, and we enjoyed that really.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for your kind words. I am intoxicated only by the smell. I am not even drunk yet. So imagine when we actually drink the nectar of the holy name, how wonderful. Understand? Sometimes in our neophyte stage, we are not yet able to taste Krishna Prem, but we get some semblance of it even in the stage of sadhana bhakti. Correct? It may be ras abhas. Even that abhas or that shadow is so attractive, because Krishna is attractive even at the neophyte level for the neophyte devotee. So imagine what it will be like when we are actually able to relish the actual nectar of Krishna consciousness. And imagine what it will be, the experience of Lord Chaitanya himself. Of course, we cannot imagine, but we can just imagine that it will be unimaginable. So actually, devotional services is actually very intoxicating. Intoxicating in a positive sense. Intoxicating in the sense that it takes us to a high. And when we are in that higher level of consciousness, it is so blissful, so pleasurable that all other things seem very insignificant. The troubles of material existence, the attractions of material energy, all these things seem very insignificant. So I don't know. Thank you for your kind words. I am very insignificant and small. I never noticed about my driving, but yes, I can just say that I whenever I'm in the association of devotees, when I love to discuss and hear Krishna Katha, and be in the association of devotees, worship the Lord. So I'm just grateful to the Lord that the Lord has allowed me to have at least a very small part of that attraction for Him and activities connected to Him. And that is our saving grace. If somehow we have even a little bit of attraction and we keep that attraction and cultivate it, then our path is safe. So our faith in Krishna consciousness is also by seeing the positive experience of those who are more advanced than us, Krishna consciousness. So that should always be our aspiration. Of course, I consider myself very insignificant. I have a long way to go. But your comment with respect to how Krishna consciousness is so intoxicating is very true. Thank you, Prabhu. By the way, you and Veena ji are also always intoxicated. We'd like to compliment both of you also.
Like Krishna Prabhuji, one more question.
Yes, Prabhu. Tell me.
In Siksastakam, at one place it is said we have to give respect to others, but we should not expect respect from others. Whether it means if somebody give disrespect, we need to ignore it, or how to handle. Sometime in self-respect, some places we experience some type of words they used to say, and it looks like we are losing our self-respect. So in such situation, what we have to do, Prabhuji?
So here the devotee doesn't expect to be respected. So here respect means this is not about dignity. This is not about dignity. This is about the desire to be honored and worshipped. That is the meaning of wanting to be respected. So of course in English we have a very common term of self-respect. So I'm referring to self-respect as dignity. So if somebody is insulting us in an undignified way and giving an undignified treatment, then even though at a soul level, we know that all these words which are used are at the bodily platform, they don't apply to the soul. But based on the situation and the context, the Vaishnava should respond appropriately. Internally, he is not disturbed. Internally, the Vaishnava should not be disturbed because he understands that this doesn't pertain to the soul. But at an external level, he has to respond appropriately. Generally, the recommendation is that if a Vaishnava is insulted, sometimes it is best, rather than fighting and trying to defend and do that, it is generally recommended in most situations, preferably just maintain your dignity, composure, be quiet, and just quietly walk off from that place. That is best. Like it is said, no, we don't have to accept the insult. Whatever we don't accept goes back to whoever has said it. But we don't have to subject ourselves to humiliation. That is not humility. One doesn't have to be mistreated and simply stand there and tolerate. And the tolerance there must be that, yes, we did not retaliate. Of course, again, whether to retaliate or not retaliate also depends on the situation. Okay? For example, if your children misbehave with you or call you bad names, you cannot say, I will tolerate it, I'll become humble. Obviously, you cannot do that. You are supposed to train them. So if the situation needs you to become angry, to discipline them in whatever appropriate way, you have to do the needful. I am a teacher. If I have, as a spiritual teacher, if I have students, if they are misbehaving or if they are mistreating me, it is my duty to correct them and sometimes even become angry with them. That doesn't mean I want to be worshipped or I want to be. Prabhupada many times would scold his disciples for not properly honoring him and worshipping. It is not that Prabhupada wanted to be honored and worshipped. He wanted to train his disciples properly how to honor the spiritual master. So it is not so much about the external behavior. In the external behavior, if you think that it's an external world situation and we don't want to engage in a spat of words, and the whole thing will go into a very negative situation, then one should walk off. But there may be other situations where one may have to deal differently. So there is no very simple answer, but the main point is we don't expect to be honored and respected. Does that help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So there may be very specific situations. If there are very specific situations, you want to understand how you want to deal with it, then we can discuss it offline.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
But the principle is amanina manadena. One respects and honors everybody else, and honoring others here is based on their position. You honor an equal in a different way. You honor a superior in a different way. You honor your junior in a different way. With my seniors, I will offer them obeisances. With my equals, I will embrace them. With my juniors, I will affectionately welcome them. And I may give my best wishes or even blessings to them. Correct? And all of this is appropriate. Yes? Huh? Krishna would do that. Krishna would embrace Arjuna, touch Yudhishthir's feet and bless Nakula when he would meet the Pandavas. Krishna would do that. He would touch Bhima and Yudhishthir's feet every time Krishna met them because they were elder to him. He would embrace Arjuna because he was the same age, and Nakul and Sahadev would touch Krishna's feet. So all of this is appropriate. So giving respect is not just about, indiscriminate. We still have to show proper respect within the culture that is established by the Lord and the Acharyas. We have to follow the proper dealing. But we are not thinking, oh, why he didn't respect me? He should have treated me like this. So many people, do many things to us, and in this Kali Yuga, it is so common that we will be mistreated, misquoted, misrepresented, and so many people will fight with us in so many various ways. We have to just tolerate. Yes, that is the nature of Kali Yuga, and in the service of the Lord, we have to go through so many things. So we tolerate. But when we are in that situation, at that point in time, how exactly to deal with it, we have to see what is the best way in which we can show an exemplary Vaishnava behavior. We should never lose our composure. Our ego should not be hurt. So our ego is being hurt, that means we are being false. Of course, we may become hurt or pained when a person to whom we are affectionate is misbehaving towards us. That is normal, correct? That is a little different because a Vaishnava is not hard-hearted, correct? For example, if tomorrow you and Veenaji say bad things about me behind my back and it comes to my ears, of course I will feel a bit pained. Oh, why Santanamji and Veenaji is feeling and talking like this about me? Or if somebody is lying to me, oh, why so-and-so devotee lied to me so much? Of course I will feel, but that doesn't mean I am seeking respect and honor. That is different. You understand? That seeking respect and honor is about seeking worship. A devotee is not insensitive. He is not emotionless. And you will see all these kind of emotions even within the dealings of the great devotees, including Lord Chaitanya and his associates, where they also at times feel sad, bad. But they are not See, this whole point of not wanting respect means one actually understands that I am part of Krishna, I'm insignificant, everything I have is his glory. There's nothing great of mine. When one is fixed in this understanding and realization, automatically one doesn't feel offended. One doesn't feel excited by praise or doesn't feel depressed by criticism, because one understands actually anyway nothing was mine. Even the glorification. There's one very nice thing which is said, if you have time, if somebody is getting late, you can drop off. I don't mind. I don't want to hold you back. I want to just mention one very small point since there is no other question. Just like once on one horse, a procession of a deity was being taken. See, temple deities, no? Sometimes they take the temple deities out and they take on a procession around the temple, right? So on the deity's back, there was the Utsav Murti of the Lord was being taken on procession. And everybody was going down in front of the Murti and throwing flowers. And the horse was getting very excited. Oh, everybody is going down in front of me. They're throwing flowers also on me. They're going down so humbly. And he was feeling very excited. But soon after the procession was over, nobody was looking at the horse. Nobody was bothered about him. And he was feeling very offended. Hey, why are you treating me like this? Why are you not respecting me? Huh? Didn't you see how I was walking in the courtyard and everybody was honoring me? I was so beautiful. He's totally in illusion. He didn't realize it was never about him. He was just carrying the deity on his back, and the deity was being honored. So a great soul is always in realization of the truth that all good qualities, all abilities are coming from Krishna. He doesn't take credit for it. If they are given by Krishna, they may be taken away by Krishna at any time. We are just the horse, we are just carrying it on our back. Don't get too excited if somebody glorifies you, and don't be too dejected if somebody criticizes you. It was never about you. Okay, this is just one example. So we should try that. It's not easy, but we should try to maintain that consciousness. Okay, so these are just some thoughts. Anything else, anybody? So I hope you all had a wonderful Gaur Purnima. So tomorrow we will not be having our Sadhana Sadachar class for this week because devotees have been busy, so we can take some time off. So we will have that class the following weekend on Sunday. Hope that is okay. And beyond that, we'll meet on Wednesday, of course. We'll continue our Bhagavad Gita discussion on Wednesday and then Saturday and Sunday. Okay. Thank you very much. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Panchatattva ki jai, Mayapur Navadvip Dham ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Sitanath Premanandi Hari.
Hare Krishna
you.
Prabhu, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Hare
everyone.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna and
Bo.
thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hari Bo.
Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.